Caitlin Clark.
Tonight, the Target Center will have their first national TV game of the season, and Victor Wembanyama, he is back in action. A man that it feels like every time we see him, he does something that we have never seen a 7'4" player do before. What might that be against the league's best team? The Timberwolves, they're getting Anthony Edwards back after missing the last 2 games. So 2 of the league's brightest young stars, they go head to head tonight on ESPN, and we are counting you down.
Welcome to NBA Countdown presented by DoorDash.
I kind of embrace being the underdog, embrace people not maybe putting as much respect as we should get, but at the end of the day, you also got to earn it. And eventually, when you go in the playoff and you play for a championship, you have no choice but to have us on national television, so you got to earn on TV games, baby.
Well, guess what, Rudy Gobert? You earned your national TV games. The Timberwolves, the Spurs are in prime time tonight on ESPN. Welcome to NBA Countdown live from our studios here in Los Angeles, alongside our senior NBA insider Adrian Wojnarowski, Chiney Ogwumike, Richard Jefferson, Kendrick Perkins. I'm Malika Andrews. And guys, don't look now, but the Minnesota Timberwolves, they have the best record in the NBA. At 15-4, the T-Wolves, they are off to their best start through 19 games in franchise history. And with a win tonight, that would be their best through 20 games. And hey, take a look at this. The T-Wolves also, they've had success against the better teams in the league this season, right? They're 8-2 against teams with 500 or better records, the best mark in the NBA. They've had a 600 win percentage in those games just once in team history. That was back in the 03-04 season. But it's more than that. It feels like they've really found something, Chiney, with Anthony Edwards, with Karl Anthony Towns, with Rudy
San Antonio Spurs. Look at that, folks. The Minnesota Timberwolves have been in first place for 16 days in the Western Conference. That's the most in over 20 years. And they plan on staying in first place if you ask them for a little bit longer as well. Hello, everybody. I'm Mark Jones, chopping it up with the Hall of Famer Hubie Brown. George Sedano tapping in just a moment. Hubie, let's start with the excitement that surrounds this franchise right now. Minnesota has the #1 defense in the NBA, but offensively, they've got first-time All-Star Anthony Edwards and 3-time All-Star Karl Anthony Towns looking like he did before the injury last year.
Yeah, I like this style of play. It is emphasizing the 2 players that we're talking about. They're backing it up with not only the points, 26 and 22. How about the shooting percentages? Excellent. And then the 3-point shooting, because both of them take 5 to 6 threes a game. Then you have a rebounding guard to help out your front line. Now, Towns is giving you 9 there. So it's an excellent contribution by your 2-star offensive players.
George Sedano, they are strong and long on that front line.
There's no question about that, Jonesy, and Rudy Gobert has had a resurgence here. Last year was a bit of a challenge. I think the team underestimated that he spent all his career in Utah, and just a new environment would be a little bit of a challenge for him. Last year they were also doing some things that were very similar to the way he played in Utah, and the defense, they were actually playing 2 different styles of defense when Rudy was in and when Rudy was out. This year Chris Finch simplified that, their head coach, by saying, hey, we're going to go to a traditional style defense where we're going to rotate, and that means Rudy's going to have to guard in space at times, and they have flourished with their defense this season, Jonesy.
Yeah, he has been much more comfortable with the Timberwolves this year, and it's showing on the floor. Hubie, let's switch gears, talk about the visitors tonight, the San Antonio Spurs. There's no easy way to say it. They're in a bad way right now. They've lost 14 consecutive games, just 3 wins on the season, but amongst the growing pains, the 1 star has been Victor Wembanyama, the rookie, who has checked a lot of boxes for them.
Well, you love him. #1 draft, 19 years old. He's only playing 30 minutes. He gets an education every night, and especially tonight with 2 7-footers in the painted area. Now, the shooting percentage, the points are good. The shooting percentage is a little low. The rebounding is excellent, and then the block shots are excellent. The main thing with him, he attempts a number of threes a game, and unfortunately, he's only shooting 27%. I would say that's the biggest disappointment, the big eye-opener. But he's coming. He's learning every night.
It's been a very steep learning curve for the rookie from France. We actually have a couple of Frenchmen going head-to-head. They both played for the national team. Gobert met Wembanyama as a 13-year-old and has mentored him. It's teacher against pupil when we come back.
NBA Courtside on ESPN is presented by DoorDash, the official partner of the NBA.
I've known Victor since he was 13, so I kind of watched him grow.
His approach, his dedication, the work that he puts in the last 3 months since the draft is paying off.
Hey, we some different breeds and I stand on it. Yeah, add it up, shooting threes and I slam on them. Please do not reach, I got wingspan on it.
Wembanyama, the 8-foot reach.
He's a competitor. He wants to win, and for me, I try to give him as much knowledge as I can.
It feels special, over the years, trying to take care of me, and it's even more special.
Watching block shots, he kind of look like me a little bit.
Victor rejects that one against his fellow Frenchman.
Yeah, baby, I've been problem. I'm a problem, that's for sure. If I ain't on the court, then I ain't going back and forth.
Inside, Gobert! The hammer! Oh, Bobo Wembanyama! He's a threat to dunk it every single time he's in the paint.
He's unique, and he knows that he can be in the league of his own.
Welcome, everyone, to NBA Wednesday, presented by State Farm from Minneapolis, where the Timberwolves are off to a historically great start in terms of their franchise beginning 15-4, tops in the Western Conference, and Karl Anthony Towns doing a lot of the heavy lifting. Victor Wembanyama at 29 last time out against San Antonio. Let's take a look at these starting lineups. First of all, for San Antonio, head coach Greg Popovich has shuffled the deck a little bit. Devin Vassell back in the starting lineup. Cedi Osman getting the start in place of Jeremy Sohan. Wembanyama, Collins, and Keldon Johnson, last year's leading scorer, rounding out the starting five. Meanwhile, for the hometown crew, Mike Conley, Anthony Edwards in the starting backcourt. Nickeil Alexander-Walker, Karl Anthony Towns, and Rudy Gobert at the 5 for Minnesota. The Timberwolves coming off a win on Saturday against New Orleans, and San Antonio Spurs losing on Friday. They haven't played in a while, so they should be, if nothing else, well rested. Getting a look at Anthony Edwards for the first time in a couple of games. He has missed the last two because of a hip injury, and Hubie, it's going to be interesting to see how he moves up and down the court. He's usually so dynamic.
Well, just think about it. He's averaging 26 points. He's shooting a solid 46 and 38 in the two main areas. But more important, he's added a better defense, not only individually, but team defense.
Here's Vassell. Anthony Edwards picks up Vassell on the